Hey everyone, I wanted to make a video about market making bots and how they work and how they kind of tie into what I was doing before my last video with wash trading. So what market making bots do is manipulate the market into you basically thinking that either there's buy orders happening on the order book or there's sell orders happening on the order book, right? So I've shown you on wash trading videos like how that works. Basically, they take a set number and they buy a little bit at a time, which creates a spread, and then they can, make profit from that spread by buying. It's almost like a pump and dump type of deal. So it's something that I'm going to explain. I'm going to talk about Mt. Gox and what happened with that first, and talk about the two bots that they found, which they're called Marcus and Willy. Okay, so Marcus and Willy basically are known now after doing research that they were two bots that bought Bitcoin sometimes at not even a penny and other times for $900, right? So basically they were kind of double spending and doing some really odd behavioral things, but people did not really notice because maybe they just didn't understand it yet, okay? So after doing this study, they found a ton of discrepancies in terms of how much people were paying for Bitcoin, how much people were selling Bitcoin for, and well, let it be known, it was selling them at the market price, buying them usually under market price and sometimes over market price while buying a bunch under market price. So it's kind of a very manipulative thing that happened, and it was happening repeatedly. So I didn't want to talk about this report and bore you guys. So I'm going to just kind of go through it and highlight the most important pieces. So right here, we can see what it looks like. So as you can tell, the user ID was the same. They were buying at certain prices here, right? And then we would see that they were buying at certain prices here, 15, buying 631 was also connected as well to these. And what they did basically is push the market either up or down, right? And they would have manipulated buy orders, which you can see here, and they had manipulated sell orders right here, right? And the whole idea of this was to make as much profit as possible. And I'm telling you, this really worked, and it caused the price of it to push all the way to the moon. So the daily change when they were on or off changed immensely based off of a few factors. So Marcus, when it was on, Mt. Gox, Bitstamp, Bitfinex, you could see that there was discrepancies in Marcus and Willy when they were on. And if we go even further deeper into this, which you probably don't care about, you'll find that there were many different orders on different days that we would see some suspicious trading activity. So days with no suspicious trading activity, the daily rate increase was these, and the days that they had suspicious trading activity were 6 days out of the month, 18% change in decrease, or 27 days of the month, and it was an 82% increase. And look at Willy, the same thing, 18 and 82. 18 and 82 was the average mean for them. Obviously, this is something that you have to pay attention to and understand that when it's on and these bots were active, they were actually creating a lot more volume, which made people buy more and FOMO into it, right? So that's basically how that works. So those bots are known to be potentially the reason why Mt. Gox was pumping up so fast, from $150 to $1,000. Now I've shown you guys this before, that over 80% of the top 25 pairs on CoinMarketCap is wash traded. So I know Box Mining and Michael Gu actually was chiming in on this on my last video. Thank you for that. And what we're seeing here is that when they did this transparency check, they found that most of 80%, over 80%, okay, of the top 25 pairs on CoinMarketCap are wash traded. Most of these pairs have an actual volume of less than 1% reported on CoinMarketCap. So 99% of the volume you see, if it's $1 billion, is not $1 billion. It's $1 million. That's how much difference there actually is, okay? Or maybe $10 million. But the thing is, it's way off. There were only 2 discovered not to be wash trading on Binance and Bitfinex. Now, some people said these guys potentially did this transparency check and Binance had paid for it potentially. I don't know for sure. I'm looking more into that, but this is not the point of the video. It's to teach you about the market making bots. So OKX was found that they did 89% of their BTC USDT wash volume was actually wash traded, which is insane. And Huobi was responsible for 74% of that volume. HitBTC 75% of that volume. And as you can see here, Bitfinex and Binance were the only ones that actually were not caught wash trading, at least based off of this report. And as we see, most of these other exchanges, some of them bigger and smaller than others, did. Now, we just had Digifinex at the conference I was at, and it was kind of funny because their real volume is like a couple million a day, and they're reporting like 120, 130 million. Now, I'm not sure if that's still happening after this report, but it still shows you what is happening. So wash trading actually costs a lot of people money. Cost the actual projects money, cost the exchanges money, and most of the time it actually costs you and me and everybody else normally money, which is not good. Now, what they found out was it's not really people doing the wash trading. It's actually bots. So 95% of all this volume that they're finding out is bots, which is quite interesting. So if an exchange charges more than $100,000 to list, then facilities executes or does nothing to stop the manipulation of rival currencies, they are undermining small projects that they have charged, right? That's happening, but there's micro wash trading. It's like really, really small, and bots do it like ping, 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 because they're super fast. And so it's really hard to catch it, right? And that's kind of the whole idea. And what they also do, I'll tell you later, is they connect into other exchanges so you don't notice. So in that report, 12% of the top 25 coins on CoinMarketCap are not being significantly wash traded. So basically a couple of them. They noted that only 3 of the top 25 pairs not to be grossly wash trading their volume on Binance and Bitfinex and Liquid. Okay, so it's quite interesting to think about it. Now you're probably sitting there wondering, like, how do you even do a wash trade? What is this wash trade on a bot? How does it work? It's very simple, actually. A bot will go into an exchange and you'll see the order books, right? And on the order books, you'll see obviously numbers popping up and flashing out. So if I go to Binance right now, Binance right now, okay, and I wanna go into the exchange part, let's just go to Binance here. And I go to their exchange, what I can actually look at is what's happening on the exchange. When I look at buy and sell orders, I can see them popping in and how much they're popping in for. Now, if you start seeing at certain prices huge amounts of volume that are building up, they could be fake or they could be real. Now on Binance, they're saying not to do it, and because it's so fast to execute on Binance, it might be true. Okay, I don't know for sure, but I think it might be actually true. Okay, so you'll see them on there, and you'll also look at the volume on these coins, and usually you'll see they'll have spikes. Like here you see a spike actually right there. Now that might be whale manipulation, who knows for sure, we can't actually say, but we see things are obviously moving on Binance, right? So how it works is they will basically do small activity with a constant tight bid ask spread of 2% on the order books. So they rebuild instantly, they keep the order books thick and dynamic, and this is how these companies do it. Now I have information that I'm sharing with you from an actual market making bot company that does this. So you guys, if you want to really know how it works, just chime in right now, take it all in quickly, okay? So for 2 BTC collateral, they'll do 50% in BTC and 50% in their token to be refunded when the contract ends. And moreover, the client wants randomization of volume increase or small pump and dump over time. They can do it, but they need to increase collateral and they will also need to burn it. Okay, so they'll get recognition for some token clients if they have needed. And the thing is, they get different bots that are running, and the market making one, it is what the token asks for the most, right? So then we have these price monitoring, volume monitoring, and people say it's more controversial, but basically it's really not good. It's just all bad, really. So what they do is they connect the market making bot in the real market. They tighten the bid ask spread to 2%. The dynamic of the price curve, they set it up, and they rebuild the order books instantly and constantly, right? Now, when they do that, what does that mean? It means that they're connecting another bot as well, answering the client's demand for an increase in volume and price. So what basically this means is a market making bot company can be called by a project at any time and say, pump my coin on the exchange, and they will say okay, and they will pump the coin. You'll see how huge volume spike. This is actually happening on almost every single exchange there is out there. So be very wary of this because it happens and you may not have known it does, but that's what it is. Now, here's what the crazy thing is. They scrape data from a bunch of exchanges, like 15 to 20 exchanges. They have one master order book, which they create spoofing orders. And spoofing orders are basically just random small orders all the time to show liquidity on both sides of the order book when it's not actually there. So if you've ever gone on a crappy exchange and tried to buy a certain amount of coins at a certain price and you only fill like a small piece of the order and you sit there waiting for hours and days sometimes to fill it, that's because market making bots are the reason why you bought it on the exchange, and they're actually going to be suppressing the price down or pushing it up, and you don't know when that's going to happen, right? So we've seen that on BitMEX many times where there's huge lines down and huge lines up. Kind of see it in just right over here behind me. So now they have demands from non-tech savvy people to make it clear on how they do it. So they basically, how it works is they have external liquidity providers. So let's say it's Polynex and BTC on one side. They go into the main market making bot company's exchange. They have liquidity partners from B2B solutions that come in and OTC trading desks that come in as well. Then they aggregate all these books and they start creating and matching orders on different exchanges and putting the other orders from one exchange onto the other one, so it looks like there's constant volume all the time. That's what wash trading is, right? So buying and selling on different, buying or selling or doing both to basically show people there's liquidity when it's not actually there. So these market making bots, ping, 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 they're already set up. Usually they're algorithmic, so they already know what they're going to do at a certain price. They're already trained to do this exact movement. And so what they'll do is they'll start buying little pieces at a time, and it looks like the order books are shooting around like up and down and up and down. And then people get excited about that, obviously. And what ends up happening is they go through this whole system and then they take and scrape these orders and put them on other different exchanges because they've got collateral from the actual token and in Bitcoin, so they can make that volume happen or make it disappear. Okay. The whole idea is usually when they're doing wash trading is to create people to buy, and when they buy, they can't actually sell because there's no actual seller. When they try to sell it, there's no actual buyers. So how are you going to sell it? That's the problem when there's no liquidity, right? So it should also be noted that market makers are required by law to give customers the bid-ask price for each market order transaction. So they have to give a fair, reasonable, two-sided market. That's what they call it, but it is not fair and it is not two-sided. It is very one-sided, okay? Some of the worst people for this have been things like DigiPinex, Coinbit, OKX is one of them. There's CoinZest, which is another one. ZB, I don't know if you guys remembered, they were doing crazy amounts of wash trading and almost shut down the Ethereum network because they were sucking up all of the power by just constantly pumping and dumping coins. That was a really interesting one. I believe it was ZB. If I'm wrong, sorry ZB, but I believe I am not wrong on this one. There was a couple as well that also did this, and they started having crazy volume absolutely out of nowhere. Adobe Exchange was another one, ran by some really shady characters that worked at Coinbase before. And yeah, so it's interesting. This industry needs a lot of growth, but we're getting there. And so I'm just gonna leave you guys off with this, that wash trading and market making bots are actually quite tied in together. And if you understand one, now you'll understand both and how it works. And look for spoofing orders where it's like 0.0003 Bitcoin, and it's like for like $5-6 at a time at a similar number, right? If you're doing USDT, it'll be at 38.65, at 38.65, at 38.65. All of a sudden, you just have like all these mini orders that are stacking up on there, and that gives you a good indication of what's going to come next, right? So that is what you have to do, and this is what wash trading, market making bots do on the market, and this is why 90% of the whole entire market is just fake volume. Okay, we need to clean it up. We can clean it up, and we'll be discussing this a lot more shortly. So you guys have yourselves a great day, great night, great afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Coach K is signing out, but don't forget to smash on that like and subscribe and share button. Show your love for the coach. I'll see you guys soon. Have a great day, everyone.